Hi, IT 152 students. I promised that I would do videos for the SAM Capstone projects, and I released one earlier for Word, and this is going to be in Module 7 for PowerPoint. And so we're going to take a look at this. Remember that to do these SAM Capstone projects, you have to have purchased Cengage Unlimited to access a Cengage MindTap system where the project files are at and where they're graded. And so I'm going to make sure that the due date on this one shows up for, I think, December the 4th. So right now you'll see it's the 16th, but I'll change that right after this video is done and give you until December the 4th because some people are kind of waiting to see how things turn out. Anyway, let's give this a go. So I'm going to come in here and click on the link, and that launches me into Cengage MindTap. And just remember that whenever we're working with these projects in Cengage MindTap, then one of the things that you usually get is some instructions. And I'm going to click on Start here. I think there's 3 tries you get. And so we can see that we've got an instruction file to download, a starting file that we'll be working with, and a couple of supporting files. There's even one more file here. And the best thing to do is just hit download all. And so I'm clicking on download all. And they're all lining up here in my browser. And of course, if I go to my downloads directory, you can see they're right here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll be working on those in PowerPoint. Now, one of the things that I also mentioned in the previous video is that when you're working on these particular files, then you want to use not Microsoft Office 365 in the cloud because it's likely not going to have all of the menus and features. Even if you're using the Mac version of PowerPoint, you won't see a lot of similarity in terms of the menus and features. The easiest thing for you to do and the quickest thing for you to do is just set aside yourself about an hour, hour and a half one day to go to one of the computer labs in Nova. And when I post the announcement for this, I'll post the link for the computer lab so you can see their hours of operation and use their computers because they'll have the full versions of Word and then PowerPoint. Sometimes that's the easiest thing to do to save you time and make sure that you get the best grade possible. Now, you might find that on the version of Office you have installed on your own PC that you may have a full version. Sometimes students do, but if you start working on your own PC and you see that your menus are not the same and you don't have the same features, that's how you would know. Okay, so now let's get started with it. I'm going to actually bring up the instructions here, and I'm just going to click on Enable Editing, even though I don't plan to edit them. So what I can see is that I have on the instructions, the first thing I'm supposed to do is to edit the file name that is the starting file so that it has instead of a 1, a 2. Now I'm going to go into File Explorer, and the starting file is this one. And I could edit it right here, but what I'm actually just going to do is open it up. So I'm just going to double click on it, and it's going to open it up in PowerPoint. And then I'm going to do Enable Editing. And then I'm going to do File Save As. And I'm going to save the file in my ITE 152 folder that I saved my work for this class in. So let me just go here. And let me just go here. And then I'm going to throw a 2 here at the end, like so. And then I'm going to click on Save. And so that accomplishes the purpose. Now you'll notice that it puts my name within the file name. And I mentioned earlier as well that in the Cengage MindTap system, they have a digital signature that you can't see. It's not in the file name and it's not even the header or anything like that. Even down here, you can see the file was created especially or specifically for me, but they have a digital signature here that whenever you submit a file, it checks to see if the digital signature, which you can't change inside the file, matches your account. So it puts this digital signature in whenever it's downloaded, and then it checks to see if the digital signature is the same. I mention that because of the fact that sometimes students will share the files, out of trying to help somebody out, although that is an academic integrity violation. And so when they submit a file that they did not download out of Cengage MindTap themselves and work on it themselves, it detects the digital signature being different, and then it will flag it as an academic integrity violation. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to even get one online. You need to do it yourself, your own file. So we're going to take a look at the next instruction that we have. And let me bring that up. I've got a few of these open today, so I've been working on a bunch of them. Okay, so here's our PowerPoint one. And we're going to, we have the it would already have the PPTX extension, and we would need these three files. Now I know right now they happen to be within my downloads folder, and they say that make sure that your first and last name is displayed in the presenter notes on slide 1. So let's look at the presenter notes on slide 1, and that's this part down here at the bottom. These are referred to as the presenter notes. Okay, in this little pane, it doesn't have an awful lot, it just only have one, but it says the file specifically created for me. Okay, back to our instructions. So our instructions say, and hold on just a minute, let me close this one up. Wrong instructions. There's the ones. All right, so here we go. So our friend Jabari Basha is preparing to search for a new position as a web designer, and he asked to help him use PowerPoint to develop a visual resume so he can send to prospective employers. And we're going to reuse the slides from the support PPT 365 2021 CS1 3B new slides and insert them in the same order at the end of the presentation. So that's our first thing. So let's take a look at these slides that are represented in this particular file. So I'm going to go here, and I see it's in my downloads directory, remember? So I'm going to double click there, and it's going to open that up in PowerPoint too. And I'm going to click on Enable Editing. And then to insert these three slides, there's probably more than one way to do it, but here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to select the three of them. I'm clicking on the first one, and then I'm going to hold the Shift key down on my keyboard, S-H-I-F-T, and that selects all three of them. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to do a copy on them. And then I'm going to swap off to the other presentation, which is here. And then I'm going to go to the end. And then I'm going to use paste. And let's see if they end up there. And it kind of looks like they do. Okay, so those were the three files that we've got. And I'm looking at this particular view. And let me just say, if you don't see this view when you open it up, then you could go to view. And this is called the normal view that shows us our different slides that we have. So I have my three slides put in down there at the end. Again, what I did was I went to the support file and I grabbed up these three files. It's not quite easy to see that you have, if we click on the first one, you see it's highlighted. I'm going to hold the Shift key down and click on the last one. And then I went to copy. You could also right click and go to copy. And then I went to the other presentation. And then I just clicked after number 4 there, and then I did on the home, I just did paste, and it pastes them in. And it actually changes like the color scheme, it looks like, to match the theme that's being used in this one as opposed to the other one. But we will go and then check to see what is our next instruction that we have. So we inserted in the same order at the end of the presentation that we have, and now we're going to change the design of the presentation to use the theme and colors that Jabari prefers. So I'm going to change the theme to Office. All right, let's go back and grab up the presentation. So here, to change the theme, we're going to go to Design, and then we can see we have all these different themes, and I'm going to click on the one that says Office, and then I mentioned the fact that be careful where you've clicked at the time. I'm just going to the very first slide, and then what I'm going to do is click on Design, and then I can see all of these different things. A second ago, they were shown in black and white. I'm like, what is going on there? But at any rate, I'm choosing Office, which is the very first one. Now, it doesn't look quite as colorful as it was just a second ago, but we'll see. The next instruction that we have is to change the theme colors to warm blue. So let's go back to the presentation itself here, and then the theme colors. So when we have our themes here, then there's different colors that go along with them. So first of all, there's where I got Office. And then what I'm going to look for is to see if we've got let me click here, close this one off. Let's see if we can hit different colors. So used to be they would have them here, but there we go. All right, so now we've got colors, and then we want warm blue or blue warm. Let's see let's see if it's warm blue or blue warm. It must be blue warm, but I'll check that out. Okay, and then let's go back and see if that was true. Blue warm. Okay. Now we want to insert a footer to identify Jabari throughout the presentation, and we're going to input the slide number in the footer, and we're going to put the footer text as Jabari Basha, and then visual resume. Okay. And then display the footer on all slides except the title slide. Okay, so let's give that a shot. Let's go back to the presentation, and I'm actually going to go to slide 2, haha, and that might save me or maybe not, save me from work from trying to get the footer in correctly, but we know that we don't want it to be on the first one, and I'm going to go to insert, and then I'm going to go to header and footer, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put slide number, and then I'm going to click under footer, and the text they want us to type in there, I'm going to grab that up right here. Let's copy that. Give it a copy, and then I want to come back into the presentation, and I'm going to paste that in. But you can read it for yourself, Jabari Basha Visual Resume. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to check the box for don't show on title slide. Now that would have been the fix I could have done on the very first one here. And then I'm going to hit apply to all. And so we can check it out by seeing down here at the bottom, although it's not that easy to see, but you can see it says Jabari Basha Visual Resume, and we have the number 2 here. And if I go back on the first one, I can see it doesn't appear there, which is what we want. And then here we have 3, and then so on. Okay, back to our instructions. On slide 1, we want to enter Web Designer in the subtitle placeholder. So let's hit a copy on this, and then let's go back to the presentation. So whenever we look at different slides, they have layouts, and if you click on Home, you can always check the different layouts by looking at slide layouts. And the one that's being used right now, of course, is a title slide, but this is how we come up with different kinds of slides. And the title slide, you typically have the title, and then you have a section that would be the subtitle. And I'm just going to click here, and I'm going to paste that in. But you could also type that in if you wanted to. And it should pick up the font automatically according to what the theme would be. Now, let's go back to our next instruction. On slide 2, about me, we're going to insert a picture, and we're going to look at the content placeholder on the right and insert the picture that we downloaded. It's going to be in my downloads directory, and then we'll crop out the yellow rectangle at the bottom of the picture. So let's take a look at it. Let's go back to our presentation, and then they said that we wanted to do this on slide number 2, about me. So I'm going to click on this little icon to add the picture. And whenever I do that, I'm going to go. Now, it assumes that you would have the picture, of course, in your pictures directory, but I don't. Mine actually happens to be in downloads, didn't move it anywhere else. And then whenever I take a look at it, then I'm going to see, and this one must be the one that says headshot. So I can check the instructions here and make sure that's the right one. And it is. Okay. So back to the slide. So I'm inserting that in. And that brings it in. All right. Now, there is, so it says here that, let me click on close, get rid of that little designer thing here. Probably, I'm going to tell it to stop suggesting ideas for me. And let me just click off of that. And let me click off of that. Well, it's not going to, but at any rate, they want us to crop out, it looks like, that little yellow rectangle at the bottom of the picture. Okay, so we can do that. So when we come in and we select the picture, and this is not much of a yellow rectangle, but it's a bit of one. And so it kind of takes a little bit of dexterity to get this to work. But I'm going to click on crop here, and then I'm going to click on crop. Now, by the way, if you don't see the picture, for instance, you've got to select it to let PowerPoint, Word, or any Microsoft product know you want to work with a picture. You have to select it just by clicking on it with your mouse, and then you click on picture format, and that comes up with all the different things you can do to the picture. And I'm going to click on crop and then crop, and then it puts these little cropping handles around it. And I'm just, boy, it's not much to work with, but I'm going to kind of drag that up a little bit till I see that little yellow go away. Hopefully I didn't get too much. That might be okay. Doesn't look like much left. And then I'll click off of it and see. And I don't see a flash of the yellow now, so that's good. All right. And then let's see what our next instruction would be. Okay. So we got that done, cropping out the yellow rectangle at the bottom of the picture. With slide 2 still displayed, format the bulleted list as follows to improve its organization. We're going to delete the list item Freelance Web Designer, which is redundant. Okay, let's go back into the presentation and then get rid of this one. So let's just delete that out, and then Web Designer kind of pops up to the top. Now let's take another look at this. And increase the indent of the list items 3 years in web design, 2 years in UX and user interface design in the bulleted list. Increase the indent. Okay, so let's go take a look at that bulleted list. And I'm going to grab up these. And to increase the indent, I click on Home, and then I click on this button, which says Increase List Level. The other ways I could probably do it would be with the Tab key. But there we go. Now, if I don't like the way that worked, because it seems to me like it should have the same kind of indent, but maybe it's just because of the slide or whatever. I'll sort of hold off on that for a second or two. They might have us work with that a little bit more. Okay, I'm not going to try to fix anything until they tell me to. So I did what I was asked to do, which was increase the indent. Now, let's go take a look at it. Change the font color of the entire list to blue-gray accent 1, darker 50%. Okay, so let's go back to the entire list. And so our font color, we're looking for blue-grays, accent 1, something 50%. Blue-gray accent 1, darker 50%. Okay, I'm looking for the one that says darker 50%. That says lighter 50%, darker 25%, blue-gray accent 1, darker 50%. That's good. Okay, so I clicked on that. And you can't tell much difference, but it is there now. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the instructions and the entire list. Now, they didn't say anything about the title of the list, so I might find out later that I was supposed to do that too. Whenever I submit it, about me, I don't know if they consider, but I consider this to be the list part. I consider that to be the title beforehand. But they'll let me know. Now, bold the level list 1 items, web designer, highlights, and certifications. Okay, so let's go back to the level 1 list, and we're going to bold these. Web designer, bolded, highlights. Just double click on it and bold it. And we're going to bold that one too. And then on slide 2, also, we're going to animate the text on the slide as follows to make the content more engaging. So the content placeholder on the left, we're using a wipe. Let's take a look at what they mean by the content placeholder on the left. And then animate the text as one object. Change the direction of the animation from top. Okay, so this is the content placeholder. I think this is what they're considered to be the title of it. So I'm going to grab that one. And I may have to do that one too, but this is on the left-hand side, so we'll see for now. I'm going to go to animation, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the different animations, and these are, we have wipe, which is the one they want us to use, and they have these categorized, by the way. as entrance ones, emphasis ones, none. And I'm going to click wipe. Okay. And then what I want to do is say animate the text as one object. So here, let's look at effect as one object. Okay. So there we go. And they said change the direction of the animation from top. So I'm going to go to Effect Options and then choose from top. Okay, that does look better. And then change the duration to 1.5 seconds to give the viewer time to read the text. So the duration then is here. And we're just going to hit the arrow till we see 1.5 would appear. Okay. And then we can hit preview and kind of see how it will look. Yeah, that looks pretty good, I think. And the only thing I'm concerned about, I don't know, they really didn't say whether they wanted me to include that or not, but probably when I grade it, I'll find out if I did it wrong at that time. So if I have to, I'll go back and fix it then. Now, let's see what is next. So let's go to slide 3 for professional experience. And we're going to insert some smart art. Convert the bulleted list to a horizontal bullet list, and then change the smart art style to moderate effect. Okay, so slide 3, and then professional experience. Here we go. So, insert smart art. Convert the bulleted list. Okay, that's all of this right here. So I'm grabbing up that. And to a horizontal bullet list smart art from Convert to Smart Art Gallery. Okay, so let's just see where we can find our smart art. The first thing I'm going to do is click on Insert, because this is where I would usually find smart art. And I'm going to try right-clicking here just to see if there's something about Convert to Smart Art, which there is. Oh, good, that's what we wanted. So I right-click, and then I've got the Smart Art Gallery that shows up. And then what I'm going to do is find the one that says Horizontal Bullet List. So, well, it happened to be almost right on it, I think. That's vertical. And this one, let's say, horizontal bullet list. Okay, that's what they want. Well, that looks better. And then what I'm going to do is change its style to a moderate effect. So all the different smart art styles are right here. And I'm going to see which one says moderate. Okay, subtle, moderate. Okay, there we go. And we're going to add the following slide note, including the period. So here, for our slide note, we're going to type in references available upon request. Now I typed them in, but you might just want to refer to the instructions and paste them in. We did this, we did that. Now I'm going to grab this up right here. Just hit copy, and then when you come back in here, you come down into this notes area, which is sort of a strip that goes along the bottom of the slide, and you can just click and paste it in. They mentioned specifically to get the period in there, so I did. All right, let's see what our next instruction would be. On slide 4, for portfolio, we're going to format the largest picture titled Sign Up to Become an Affiliate as follows. We're going to resize the picture to a width of 3.5, align the bottom of the picture with the bottom of the Project 4 picture, align the right side of the picture with the right side of the Project 2 picture, apply the simple frame white picture style. Okay, here we go. So I'm coming here into slide 4. Wow. Okay. Now, that's a lot. Resize the largest picture titled Sign Up to Become an Affiliate. So let's see. Okay, it's this one. Now, they want this one to be resized. So I'm going to click on it first. It's one kind of almost in the middle at the bottom, it's greenish gray. And I'll go to picture format. And the size they want that one to have is a width of 3.5. So right now I had a width of 5. I'm going to make it 3.5. And then I'll hit the enter key, and that brings that down. Now, align it with the bottom of the Project 4 picture. So that means I'm going to click and sort of drag it down here so that it lines up with that one. And it's trying to help me. Notice I got this little red dot line up here all of a sudden, so that shows me it's lined up with them. All right, so I have that set. And the right side of the picture with the right side of the Project 2 picture. Now the Project 2 picture is here above, so that means that if I'm going to align that, then I guess I need to scoot it over some so that it looks like that. And then apply the simple frame white picture style. So here under picture format, here's our picture styles. They all do look like little picture frames, and we're going to look for one which is called simple frame white. And so I'm going to kind of go up. Well, that would be the first one. Okay, got that. And then we want to modify the animations of the pictures. Now, I'll be honest with you, that looks a little bit weird with me that it is not really the same size as the other ones, but and when I applied that, it sort of has it leaning down, so I'm going to scoot it up a little bit just to see if it maybe looks more like the others. I suppose it looks a little bit better, but and they may even mean that we want it to be like that. I still think that looks kind of scrolling down. Okay, let me see if I get that just right. I believe that's what they really want. I'll look at it again. Whenever you start to line these up, you can see these little vertical bars that start to appear and kind of help you to see if you're getting it at the right track. And so vertically right now, it's kind of showing me how to get it lined up with that one at the right. Okay, I'll leave that as it is. Maybe come down just a tad. All right, I think I got it in pretty good shape. The slide 4 still displayed, and this is our next instruction we're looking at. All right. With slide 4 still displayed, modify the animations of the picture as follows. Apply the animation applied to the Project 4 picture to the Project 5 picture. And then select all pictures and change the start setting to with previous. Well, I would have to see what the animation is that's on the Project 4 picture because I didn't set that myself. So, you know, it was already lined up for me for the Project 4 picture. So let's go and take a look at it. Project 4, if I'm curious about its animation, we'll go to animation. And what I can see is it's using Zoom. So then I'm going to click on Project 5, and then I'm going to find Zoom, which is right here. There we go. And then select all the pictures. Okay, so let's select them all. I'm going to click on this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. I'm holding my shift key down to get all of them at the same time. There may be a different way of doing that, but I clicked on any one of them, you know, and then selected all of them by holding the shift key down. I could have done it another way. Let me show you this again. I could click on this one. I can hold the shift key down and click on the last one, but it seems like that's not selecting all of them. So I'm just grabbing all of them up like so, making sure we get them. I've got the little orange zeros. Okay. This has a 1 on it. Don't ask me why, but we'll probably have to fix that. Now, select all the picture and change the start setting to with previous so the animations play at the same time. So after previous, with previous. Okay. And let's see what's next. So for our next instruction, then we did this. Remaining on slide 4, insert and format a text box as follows. Okay, well, let's go back and then I'm going to just take that off. All right, like so. And then when they say to insert the text box, near the middle of the slide, which is on slide 4, insert a text box containing the following text, cjbasha.cengage.com for more. Okay, change the font size to 36, all of that. All right, slide 4 then. And so we will go to insert, and then what we're going to do is text box. Hold on just a second. And hit it again. Insert, and then text box, and it wants me to draw it. Now, so near the middle of the slide, insert a text box containing the following text. Okay, so I'm going to go pretty much to the middle of the slide. Well, it's actually there at the middle of the slide. Hold on. Let me show you where it was. See this right here, this box? That's my text box. And what they want me to do is to type in it. So I'm just going, if you click on it, then you'll be able to start typing. And we're going to put in here C, J Basha, .cengage.com for more. Now, it needs resizing, obviously. So the height they want to be 0.7 and width of 8. So whenever I'm clicked on this little text box here, and I go to shape format, the height is supposed to be 0.7. The width is supposed to be 8. And then I'm going to hit the enter key. And so we can see now it's more like a rectangle. They want to center the text in the text box. So they mean what we typed in here, the C for more. So I'm going to kind of highlight that. Probably I could just select any part of it. But let's just see if we can right click and choose to do a center. Exit edit text. If we can do it right there. And if not, then what I'm going to do is just click on home and use the center alignment button, and that did it. Okay. Okay, then the next part that they want us to do is to change the fill color of the text box to blue-gray accent 1, lighter 80%. So I'm getting, again, all of these instructions from here. We just did, we inserted the text box, we typed this in it, we changed, oh, I got to change the font size to 36 points. I haven't done that yet. And then I have done this. I did do that. And then we got to change the fill color to blue-gray accent 1, 80%. And then the outline color to white background 1. Okay. So let's fix that font. Going back to it, I'm going to make the font 36. Okay. Then we're going to hit shape format here, and then the fill is going to be blue-gray accent 1, lighter 80%. Blue-gray accent 1, blue-gray accent 1, blue-gray accent 1. Must be up here. That one. Blue-gray accent 1, lighter 80%. Oh, I see now what they mean. And then the outline color to white background 1. So again, we're on shape format, shape outline. And then we want white background 1. Okay. Align it in the middle and the center of the slide. Now, they might have an alignment that we can do with that. So let's just see what we get. Align middle. Okay, and then align center. Oh, okay. I see. All right, that looks better. And then apply the offset bottom shadow effect from the outer section of the shadow gallery. So when we click on shape format again, we have shape effects. And they want us to look at one which is called shadow. And then within shadow, in the outer section, there is one which is referred to as offset bottom. That's that. Okay. Then we're on slide number 4. Okay, let's go and look at our next instruction. So we got that done. We've done this. We centered the text in the text box. We changed the fill color to blue-gray accent 1. We did white, background 1. We aligned it in the middle of center slide. We did the offset bottom shadow effect from the outer section shadow gallery. Still on slide 4, animate the text box as follows to call attention to it. Okay. Fade entrance, and then start setting to after previous, and then preview the animations on the slide. Okay, let's go back to it. So we are still selecting our text box. You can see it's got these selection handles around it. And then what we want to do is click on animation. And for the animation, we want the fade entrance. So I'm going to click, and then look, here's the entrance, fade. Alrighty. Then they want to change the start setting to after previous. So I'm going to look at start here and then choose after previous. Okay, there we go. And then preview the animations on the slide. Okay. Oh, well, that doesn't look bad at all. Okay. So now we're going to go to slide 5. There's a lot of work on slide 4. So for slide 5, and let's refer to our instructions. Skills and achievement. Change the layout to title only to display the title at the top of the slide. Okay. So we are on slide 5 now. And then we're going to click on home. And then we're going to change the layout so that it is title only, which is here. Okay. Then let's see what's next. With slide 5 still displayed, modify the shapes as follows to correct problems on the slide. So let's send the blank rectangle on the right to the back of the slide. Okay. So there's a blank rectangle here on the right. And they want us to send it to the back of the slide. So what I'm going to do is do send back like that. Okay, hope that's what they want. And enter the text awards in the white rectangle on the right. Okay. All right, then I'll go back to it. And the white rectangle is up here. Awards. Okay, okay. Insert a star or 5-point shape from the stars and banners section of the shapes gallery. Okay. We'll go to insert, and then we're going to go to shapes. And I'm going to click off of this because I'm not exactly sure where they want this to go. So you'll notice before I wasn't there or here or anything like that. And, okay. So I'm just reading it to make sure that if it says I'm supposed to do it in any particular place, I think it's going to end up right here, but in the second slide, but whatever. Let's go to shapes. And then what we want to do is go to stars and banners, which are right down here at the bottom. And then what we want to do is find one that says star 5 points, which is probably this one right here. Okay. And I see the other stars, are there. So what I'm doing, they really don't say, but I kind of peeked ahead at what the solution looks like. And it seems like it's got a star here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw one in there. Now, once I have that, then they want us to make this 8 points, 0.8 high. So I'm going to hit that to do 0.8 high, and a width of 0.9, that. So 0.8, 0.9. Then light one outline color fill is what we want for the fill color. So I'm going to go to shape fill. And remember, I've just clicked on the star so that it's selected. You can see it's got these selection handles around it. If you clicked off of it, you just click back on it, and then they would reappear. And the fill they want is light one outline color fill blue accent 2. Well, that's a long name. Light one. Light one outline It doesn't seem to be what I really want to see. I think it's to the outline here. Let's try this. That says light blue. And we're supposed to be a light one outline, color fill, blue accent, shape style. Oh, sorry, over here. Shape style. This is what they want. And then the one they want is this one, light one outline, color fill, blue, and then accent 2. I see. So it's the theme style that they want. Let's start to look like the Dallas Cowboys. Anyway, apply then the tight reflection touching shape effect from the reflections gallery. Okay, so shape effects, reflection, and then one of these is going to be called tight reflection touching, which is the very first one. Okay, I see. And then use a smart guide to position the shape as shown in figure 1. So now if you look at your instructions, you say, what the heck is figure 1? So we'll come down here and we can see what they're talking about. So this is where it's going to go right there. And we're going to see if it can line up just along with the others. So when I click back here, I'll start to position it. That's probably, oh, now when I see those little red things appear, the red dotted lines appear above and below it, then that tells me I've got it in a good shape. I'm going to save this. I haven't saved it in a while, so just do a file and then do a save. Sorry, folks, I had to pause the video to go for a meeting for a couple minutes, and now I'm coming back to finish this up. So let's see where we left off. The last thing that we were doing was working with the star here that was on slide number 5. And now what we're going to try to do is finish up with the work we need to do in the rest of the document. So I'm going to look at our instructions again, and we're going to look at slide 6, which is education and training. And we are going to modify the shapes on the left as follows. So flip the BS business communication shape vertically to orient the text correctly. All right, that's our first thing we're going to do. So let's go to that slide 6. And, okay. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I see what they mean. So they want us to flip this around. So I'm going to click on shape format. And then what I'm going to do is click on, let's try rotate here. And I imagine what they want us to do is flip vertical. So it's up like that. Okay, good. Now let's go back to our next instruction, which is copy the 2018 shape and paste the copy to the left of the AS Media and Design Technology shape. So let's look at that 2018 shape. Go back here, and then 2018. So this particular one, my instructions back up. Okay. I want to copy it and paste it to the left AS Media. All right. So to copy this shape, I'm just going to select it first, and then I'm going to right click and I'm going to choose copy. Now I want to then come down here and I'm going to do a paste. I'm going to right click and do a paste if it'll allow me to do so. And this is, okay, so that's fine. I'm going to pop it right here. And then what I'm going to do is kind of drag it down so that it's pointing out there. And notice I'm using these little handles that sort of align it correctly. Whenever I get it with that, it's with the dots. And then whenever then you can also see the arrows pointing between 2018, 2021, 2022. So those are kind of helping to square it up right, arrange it correctly. So there it is. Now, I can edit the new shape to include 2015. Okay, so if I just click, oops, and if you make a little mistake like that, okay, now I want to click, and I'm just going to delete out the 8 and replace it with a 5. There we go. I want to change the fill color to blue-gray accent 1, darker 25%. So while still clicking on this, I'm going to go to shape format, and then the fill color, they want me to use blue-gray, accent 1, darker 25%. So as I go down here, blue-gray, accent 1, darker 25%. That's 50%. There's 25%. Okay, good. So it's actually the same colors in the box to the right of it. Apply the white background outline color, first row, to the 2022 shape. Okay, so you'll notice it has a blue background around it instead of these others have the white one. So we're going to go to the shape outline, and then we want to grab up the one that says white background 1, outline color. Okay, then what we want to do is align the left side of the 2015 shape with the left side of the 2018 shape. Well, I've already done that. And then align top and bottom of it with top and bottom of the AS media. I already done that too. You know, whenever I'm clicking on, if I were to start to move it around, you know, when you're moving, you would have these 4 arrows pointing in the different directions. And when we start moving around, we can tell when I line it up with those dots or line it up with that shape, it kind of points out these little red dots there. When I get it in the right position of the ones above it, then I generally will see those appear. And then that looks pretty good. And then we're going to, with slide 6 still displayed, so I'm still working with slide 6 here, I want to fill the rectangle with the picture from the support education thing. So here's the rectangle. And then what I want to do is click on Insert. And then what I want to do is click on Picture. And then I'm going to say this device, because I downloaded it earlier in my Downloads folder. And so in my Downloads folder, there is a document that says Education. If I even click here under Downloads, like as an example, and mine's arranging that mine, you know, fairly recently of what I've done. So I'm going to grab up this Education JPEG one. Earlier we did that one, and now we're going to do this one where his head is turning to the right, and then we'll hit Insert. Okay, now most likely what we want to do is fill that in, and so that it appears kind of centered within the rectangle instead of really looking in the way that it does. And so let me just see if that is true. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to drag this over so that it appears right here. And there may have been a different way I could have done that where it would have kind of filled it in the way that it's supposed to. But first of all, let's just say, it says fill the rectangle with the picture. So when they say fill, they mean make this pretty much the same size. So I'm going to kind of use these little handles to drag up that way, and then drag up this way, and then drag a little bit. I'm going to kind of center it in there. It sort of has like this white background. I don't know if that's going to cause a problem, but we'll see. I think that's as good as we get with it. So now, sharpen 25% correction to the picture. Okay, so when we click on the picture, and then we click on picture format, then we're going to see something about sharpening. Let me see if it's under artistic, there corrections. And wow, okay, so they want us to choose sharpen 25%. I probably couldn't tell that much difference, but sharpen 0, sharpen 25. Okay, fair enough. And then change the color tone to temperature 5300K. Okay, the color tone. So let's look color, and there's color tone, temperature 5300K. I'm sure if I were a graphic artist, I'd know exactly what all that means. But I'm going to go now into slide number 17. So those two things that I just did, to remind you, these were working on slide 6. We just did this and that and that. And beforehand, we had flipped, did this, this. And now we're up to step number 18, which is going to move us to slide 7. So we're going to change the slide title to make it more eye-catching. For the title itself, use a fill a blue-gray accent color for soft bevel word art. Change the transport effect to warp down. And in Mac, they use can down. Okay. Change the text fill color to blue-gray accent 1. All right, let's look at slide 7. And that is the next slide. And so they say they want us to work with the slide title, which is right here. So this is the title part of the slide. And we want to apply fill blue-gray word art style. So the word art styles are always If we click on home, usually you see like an A that has some a little bit fancier than what we're seeing right here. So maybe I'm going to look, if we were in Word, it would be there. And let's see if any of these say, highlight it again. All right, that's Smart Art. Let me right click on it and see if there's something there into Word Art. Well, okay. Design. So over here. Let's click on home again. Just looking at some of these to see if I spot word art anywhere. That's font size. Decrease font size. Clear off already. Text. Align text. Smart art graphic. That's smart art. It's the same thing as word art. Shapes. Arrange. Quick styles. Okay, shape fill. Shape outline. Shape effects. I do not see it. And if I click off of it, I don't see much there either. So let's try to work with it a little bit and do maybe some filling in a different way. I'll look there too and see if that somehow comes into play. There we go. Oh, okay. So I see now. So they want us to click on not just the stuff inside of it. If we were working with Microsoft Word, we would click on the text inside of it. They want us to click on the outer placeholder. And then when we go to shape format, we get our word art style. So here we go. Now the one they want us to use is Fill Blue Gray Accent Color 4. I have no idea which one that one is, so I'm just going to kind of guess. And they don't tell me which one to look at. Soft bevel, blue gray. All right. Fill Blue Gray. Accent Color 4, soft bevel. Okay, thankfully it's on the first row there, so it's the one at the far end. And okay, I can tell it's changed a little bit. And then change the transform effect, they say, to warp it down. Okay, so I'm sure one of these is a transform effect. That's text fill, that's text outline, that's text effect. Here's transform. Now you know where they do all of those little transformations of text that you see on flyers and the wall. Warp down. So let's find warp down. That's square. That's probably this. A chevron down. Triangle up. Triangle down. Stop. Okay, let's look a little bit more. Wave down. Wave up. I guess it's one of these. The only way I know is just by going through each one of them at a time. I might see that. Okay. It's going to look something like one of these. Curve down. There it is. Warp down. Okay. There we go. Now, change the text fill color. All right. So one of these is text fill. That one. That's his theme colors. Text. No color. The word art. Theme colors. Okay. Yeah. All right. It's here. Now, blue gray accent 1, fifth column, first row. 1, 2, 3. Blue gray accent 1, fifth column, first row. That'd be it. Performance and contact information. Now, we want to insert a chart to illustrate the improvements that Jabari made for his employers as follows. So we have this content placeholder over here, and you'll notice it has different kinds of icons. And if you want to put in a chart, then you can do so by choosing the kind of chart that you want. So we're going to do Insert Chart, and then what we're going to do is a clustered column chart. And this clustered column chart, contemplate and insert cluster. Oh, well, that looks like it. So cluster column. I'm going to grab that one up, and then I'm going to grab that and hit OK. And then it brings it in like so. And so we have some data, or we got a little data placeholder that comes up for us. And so what we can do is we're going to enter in here, and then it updates there. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here for category, and it says delete the extra column and row. So we only have 2 series, and what we want to do is just hit this and then just delete like that. And then we have only 3, we've got a header and 3 of those categories. So we're going to click here on like the number 5, and then right click and then choose delete right there. Okay, now we're going to come up here, and we're going to type in year. And then what we're going to do is, instead of series 1, we're going to put in UX and then scores. And then instead of series 2, we're going to put in customer retention. Like that. Okay? Then for category 1, we're going to put in 2022. For category 2, we're going to put in 2021. For category 3, we're going to put in 2020. And then 35%, and then 32%, then 24%, then for customer retention, 18%, 20%, and then 20%. Okay. And then now the title, I'm going to actually click right there where it says chart title, and I'm going to type in improvements with uppercase I, like that. And then for the chart style, so there's different chart styles for this. If we click on the chart style, and then we can kind of take this and scoot this outside. After you get your data put in, then you can take that and you can close that out. Now, I'm working with just a chart, so I'm highlighting that, and I can see that I have chart design. And one of the things I'm going to do is change the chart style to style 6. So I'm clicking here, and we'll see which one of these says style 6. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, like so. Then the font size of the chart title needs to be 18 points. So I'm going to just select improvements here, and then I'm going to do 18. And you could also just click on home after you select that, and then here you could choose 18, whichever way it works. Okay, let's see if we got that. Data, we got. Change the chart style to style 6, we got. Enter improvements, we did 18 points, and then we have our data. And so all of those instructions come from this section where we say, insert the content placeholder. We did this first. We put in the data, and they're showing you down here what data that you're supposed to type in. Change the chart style to style 6, improvements, and then 18 points for the chart title. So let's take a look at that again. Here you go. Okay, this part right here. And if you had trouble with that, and if your chart's not any good, you could delete it, and then you could just go to insert, and then you could do chart, and it would allow you to go right back in there and choose the cluster column. That would be one way to do it. Sometimes I have somebody that does that, so you just delete out what's in there and then start over on if you're having trouble with it. So I'm going to go now to our next instruction, and our next instruction is here on Remaining on slide 7, distribute the 3 rectangle shapes vertically on the right side of the slide. Okay, let's take a look at that. So the 3 rectangle vertically, all right, so I'm going to click here, and I guess here, and then I guess here, and then I'm going to see what we got with that. And I'm going to go to line, distribute vertically. Okay. On the right, okay, got that. Now, on slide 7, we're going to complete the table so that I'm reading the instructions here. On slide 7, complete the table below in the shapes as follows. In cell B2 of the table, row 2, column 2, insert the web address jbash.cengage.com as a hyperlink. So let's grab that up. Let's hit a copy on that. Let's go back here. And then they're talking about right here. So in cell B2 of the table, row 2, column 2. And we are going to paste, and one of these might say paste as hyperlink, but I'm just going to look and see. Okay, so if I say keep text only, then what I can do is I can, let's see here if we can make this into a hyperlink. So let's hit insert. I'll tell you, I know exactly how to do it in Word. It takes me a little bit longer to find it in PowerPoint because I don't do that stuff quite that often. But here's, let's see, link, okay. And then, there we go. And then do okay. And text to display, take that off. Address, okay. So this, probably because I had extra spaces in. All right, now we got that, got that, got that. All right, now it's there. So this is how I did it. I had an extra space at the end, which was causing a little bit of problem, but it probably would have picked it up automatically otherwise. But if you highlight on that and then you right click, you could see link. And then if you hit edit link, then you make sure this says that, jbasha.cengage.com, jbasha.cengage, and then hit OK. And that inserts it as hyperlink. Add a row to the end of the table. Okay, so let's go to the end of the table. I'm actually going, when I say go to the end of the table, I'm going to go right down here. And then what I'm going to do is hit table design or maybe layout. And then insert below. And that puts me a new row in. Now, for this new row, they want us to put in phone. So I will. And then they want me to click over here and put in 312-555-8814. And then apply the light style 1, accent 1, table style. Okay, so if you're wondering where is she reading all this, it's coming from right here. First we put that in, then we added a row to the end of the table, then we typed in phone, grabbed up the phone number, and now we're going to do light style 1, accent 1, table style. So back to the table here. I'm selecting it. And again, if you had trouble getting the insert in for the thing, just click on the very last row. And if you click on layout, and then you click insert below, put your blank row in here where you can type in phone, and then you can type in the phone number. Now, for table design, then we're going to go to the table style. And the one they want us to get is light style 1, accent 1. So light style 1, accent 1. Okay, that looks better. I did have to say that this looks a little bit odd, but they didn't say to do anything in terms of change the color on it. So the next thing they want us to do is on 22, apply the white transition from the subtle section of the transitions gallery to all slides in the presentation. Okay, so here's how we can do that. If I'm going to do something like that, I usually go to the very first slide, and then I go to transitions. And they want us to do white from the subtle section. Now, it's probably that one, but if you want to be sure about it, just click on the arrow that points down, and then you would see those. And this says here, transition to this slide. there will be apply to all. And we're going to choose that to apply that transition to all slide. And we would see 1 with a star, 2 with a star, 3 with a star, 4 with a star. So 4 has transition and it has animations on it. We set those up earlier. Okay, now let's see what next. So on slide 1, so let's go here. Look at where our instructions are at. So this is what we just did, the white transition from subtle section. Again, I went to the presentation. I went to slide number 1. I went to transitions. I clicked down here. I chose white, and then I chose apply to all. Now, the next instruction is, we're almost at the end. That looks good. Okay, on slide 1, Jabari Pasha create a more dramatic transition for the title slide as follows. Okay, so on the very first slide, the flip transition from the exciting section of the transition gallery to the title slide only. Change the effect option to left and the duration to 1. So I'm coming back here, and then we're still in transitions, but for this we want to do from exciting, we want to do flip. Now, that is not being applied to all. We just want to do that one for that particular one. The effect option to left. So let's go to left. Okay. Then the duration we want to be to 1 second. So we're bringing it down a notch right here. And then we want to check all the spelling. So I'm going to go to review. I'm going to go to spelling. And so what we want to correct is retention here. So we're going to hit, you can see retention is highlighted, we'll hit change. Develop, now what would we do for develop? So I'm going to look at the ending slide. It doesn't really develop, it looks like it wants to say developed e-commerce slide. And let me go back to the instructions. Hold on. So they show us what it should look like when it's all said and done, but they kind of give us a little bitty look at that. And this is where he's bragging about his accomplishments. And I want to kind of take that and make that big, 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 big. Developed e-commerce app. Okay, good. That's what I was looking for. So we want developed, and then change, and then spell check is complete. Now I'm going to go to the beginning, and I just want to see what it looks like. So I'm going to go to slideshow, and then what I'm going to do is just hit the projector here so we can see how it's going to appear. And I'm just clicking to go through all the slides. And then here's our animation, skills and achievements, education and training, performance and contact, and then click to exit. Now, save. And that brings us to the end of our instructions for this. Now, I'm going to then submit it for grading and see if I've missed anything. And just like I did with the word, once in a while you miss an instruction or you do something a little bit wrong, and we'll let it grade it and then see what to do with it. So let me go back into Cengage Mind tab, wherever I have that open. And let me click here. And then let me click here. Probably it's been so long, I'll probably have to get back into it. And why have it in here? No, all right, so it's up in here. And then I'm going to go down to the modules that I have. And now I will have to say I've got 2 sections of 140, and I kind of interrupted in the middle of this video for a meeting, so I'm not sure if I started out in one section or the other. So we'll see what happens. It might catch me with an academic integrity violation because it might say that I'm submitting something for the wrong thing. But we'll see. So I'm going to go down to our this is our PowerPoint module. Okay, and then here we go. So this is where we were at to begin with today, hopefully. And then I'm going to load that up. And we'll hit start. Now I'm going to hit drag or drop, and then I'm going to select it, which is the one that's got the S Basista 2, and then hit open. And then I'll hit submit. So it says it's saved that file. Now let's see what it does. Okay, so it says it graded it, and I'm going to hit graded summary report, and then I'm going to bring up my report and see that I messed up or not. Okay, so find the graded summary report on the last slide. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so it gave me 99 out of 100. So I have one little tiny error. Let's see where it's at. I got 4 out of 4, 4 out of 4. I'm looking for a 3 out of 4. So it said, well, change a shape fill using a picture from a file. The slide stick, the rectangle shape should be formatted using picture support education as a fill. Okay, well, fine then. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back here. I'll try to do that. Let's hope I can pull it off. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. So now what I want to do is take the saved file, and then I'm going to open it up, even though I actually probably already have it open in Canva or in PowerPoint. So I'm going to take these down. Then I'm going to try to open that up again. And it was upset, and we'll hit enable editing. And I'm going to go to that rectangle where we put in his picture, which is right here. Now they said this has to be filled. Now I'm going to go to picture format. And I'm going to, I know we did a lot of picture effects on it, but I'm going to see if by some chance there is something about using a fill. So that says picture effects, that says picture border. Unwanted portions of the picture. Tell me more. Let's see what this says. Compress it. It's just change picture. And this is reset picture. Let's see. Well, maybe I can fill it out a little bit more here. I'm betting before it will grade that right, though, I would have to reinsert it, which I kind of hate to do, but okay. So let me delete that out. Now let me see if there is a insert picture as fill in some way. When I go to pictures, and then I say this device, and then I go to the, that was the education one, and then I say insert. I don't see anything that says anything about a fill for it. So it might just be an issue of me having a little bit of white background laying around it. So I'm going to try to do an undo, and undo, and undo, and bring that in. This is kind of the way it was when I first brought it in today. And I'm going to take that picture, and I'm going to try to fill it, every bit of it, within the space that's there. Okay. And I'll just see if there's something that size and position, format picture, size and properties. Yeah, I don't see anything that says anything about fill. So I'll leave it as it is. And if let's take that one point off again, I'll let it go. But I tried to fill in the white space as much as I could, without going over too much. So maybe that'll work. and then I'm going to upload it again. Now this, I'm going to do a file save as and put it over the previous one, which was in my 152 directory. And let's hit yes. And then we'll go here and here. And then we're going to try it again. So I'm going to click, and then I'm going to I'll have to close this out and before I get back into it. So I'd have to close it out, go back, go back to the module. And there may be more one way I could do that, but it seemed to be stuck on the previous attempt. So we're going to go down to module 7, and I'm going to click the link anew from within Canvas, and then click it anew from within Canvas. And then it loads it up again. And then I would click on Start, and then I'm going to hit drag and drop. Yep, so that's what it wanted me to do. And I'm going to my 152 directory. I'm grabbing that up again, and then I'll hit Open and let it load. And then I'm going to hit Submit, and I'll see if it works okay or not. They say to resubmit, close the screen, download your save file in step 2, edit file, upload, and submit again. Attempt to grade a summary report. Click here. It then allows me to open it up. I'll see what my grade is, and if it's got 99, I'll still take that because I'm not going to, work with it again. But the graded summary report's on the last slide, so I'm going to go just down here. I've still got the 99. So every how that I have my picture, it's not happy that it's not filled in as perfectly as it could be. Well, I'll live with that. So they said as a fill. So we'll just work with it. Now you might figure it out, and that's fine if you do. But if not, well, I'm going to live with the 99 out of 100. And if you get a 99 out of 100 and you want that extra point, I can manually edit it in the grade book, but you would have to tell me about it. So thanks for listening. And that's about as close as we could get with it. And I know it took you a long time. Remember, try to do this on the computer labs, because if you're doing it in Office 365, you won't find all the menus and everything there, and it's just very frustrating. So if you this took me like an hour and 20 minutes to do the whole thing. So if you sit down, you've got an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours at the most. You can watch the video, and then do it on one of the lab machines. So you could watch this video, in your, like on your smartphone, or you could watch it on a tablet, or bring a laptop, or log into 2 machines side by side so you can watch a video on one and then do the work on the other one, whatever, or go back and forth between the two. But I hope it helps. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.